Is having a boyfriend embarrassing? Now, you may have seen this viral article going out from British Vogue talking about how, in today's society and on social media these days, having a boyfriend is now out of trend. Which, honestly, as a perpetually single girly, I find to be hilarious. Turns out I've been trendy all along. But with any article that goes viral like this one, there's so much more to unpack under that. And I'm going to put this out here from the beginning, okay? I am not a man hater. I love men. I genuinely enjoy men. I love the idea of building a life with someone. I love the juxtaposition of like being a female with like the energy of a male. Like I enjoy that personally. And yet I have been perpetually single. My last boyfriend was like proper boyfriend was 3 years ago at this point. And I've dated in between then, but that was like my last actual boyfriend. And so I just want to distill a lot of what's going on in like single girlies' minds, or at least from my own perspective, as once again a perpetually single girly. And so I just really wanted to just distill what's going on in like single females' minds, particularly as a 31-year-old single female, because there's so much more that goes into it that I don't think a lot of people understand. So why am I single, right? So many people probably think that like you're 31, oh goodness, you're reaching the age. Yes, I am single. And honestly, I love being alone. I really do. Like, don't get me wrong, I do want to find a relationship and get married eventually, but I'm not terrified of being alone. I genuinely enjoy it. I love my space. I love my peace. I love that I have full autonomy and control over myself, over my body, over my decisions, over my money, over everything. And I think, especially when you're 31, some people may be like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with her? Like, honestly, genuinely, I think I'm also like, that's not the problem, okay? I genuinely think I am really cute. I think I'm fun. I think I'm really intelligent. I'm great to be around. Like, I truly think that I rock. So that is not the issue. And I would say most single women, at least that I know, who are in their 30s or in their late 20s, who are still single, that's not the issue. Hey girl, if you've been dreaming about building generational wealth and living life on your own terms, this one's for you. Now, 5 years ago, I was right where you are, okay? Burnt out, working a corporate engineering job, grinding with no real freedom in sight. Then I bought my first investment property, learned how to live for free, and started making money in my sleep. That one decision changed absolutely everything. I stopped relying on my 9 to 5 and eventually walked away from it for good. And trust me, I don't regret it. Now I'm on a mission to help other people do the same, which is exactly why I created Wonderlust Wealth Academy, a transformational program and community where I teach you how to buy your first or next investment property and live for free in 2025. Now, this community is for three kinds of people, okay? If you are stuck in a job that you don't love, secretly dreaming of more freedom, more travel, and more passive income, and you know you don't want to be climbing the corporate ladder for the next 10, 20, 30 years, this is for you. Or maybe you're a digital nomad or a travel girly who just wants to build wealth and create stability without giving up your freedom. Or maybe you're a business owner or high earning corporate baddie who just sees the market volatility and knows that it's time to diversify your income. If any of those sound like you and you're making at least $75,000, ideally six figures, and have a minimum of $10,000 that you can put towards a property, then go ahead and apply for the Wonderlust Wealth Academy. Now this is going to be a completely free call to see if you're a good fit for us and also for us to see if we're a good fit for you. You can go ahead and apply at oliviatati.com/apply WWA. That's oliviatati.com/apply WWA. Or you can just go ahead and click the link in the show notes. Now, spots are limited. We only take a few new folks a month. So make sure to apply now before there are no spots left. And they go pretty quick. Because my girl, freedom is so much closer than you think. And honestly, being single has so many perks. Like, I never have to ask someone if I want to do something. I never have to ask my husband if I want to go buy something. I can pick up and leave and travel whenever I want to. And I truly get to fully live my desires, true to me, which is honestly such a beautiful thing. And for anyone who is like terrified about being single, it's so beautiful to truly get to be fully you. I think another thing too about me in particular is I've honestly just never been boy crazy. My life has never been centered around boys. That's probably because of the way that my parents raised me. They were like, no, you need to do you. Now they're probably regretting it. like being 30 and single, 31 and single. But my entire life told me that I need to go like be successful myself, be independent. And so that's exactly what I did. But also, like, I was one of those weird girls in college who never really dated anyone because honestly, I looked at all of my friends' relationships. I looked at everyone's relationships around me and I was like, all of those look like they suck. Like, honestly, you're not happy. You're fighting all the time. Please explain to me why this is the goal. And I also had really great, amazing friendships, like ones that I still hold so dear to this day. And regret nothing. I had a fabulous, non chaotic college experience. And so, yeah, all of those relationships look like trash. And I'm not going to lie, for the longest time after that, I still struggled to find relationships that I like jived with them. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm looking for in a relationship, and had like these expander people or relationships that I could glean on and be like, this is what I want my future to look like. Now I surround myself with that all the time. I feel like I have so many expanders when it comes to relationships of like what I look for in a partner, what I look for in terms of a partnership. And I think that's really important. I think at the age of like 20, you have no clue what you're looking for. The person I would have dated at 20 to 26, 27 is so different than the person that I would date now. And here's what I believe, because the British Vogue article alludes to the fact that there is so much trash out there in terms of men, but there's also like, and I've seen it, I've met these people. There are so many wonderful, truly like gems of humans and men out there who are like willing to be wonderful partners to their spouses and to like have these beautiful partnerships. You just kind of gotta wade through water a little bit to find it, you know? And so I personally wouldn't go as far as to say that having a boyfriend is embarrassing, okay? It's just never been the main thing. Like, my goal in life hasn't only been to find a boyfriend or to get married. Like, that's never been like my number one top priority. The funny thing is, like, even at 31, people would keep asking me if I'm dating. I'm like, it's just not my priority right now. It's not the thing that I care about right this second. It is something I know personally, like, I was meant to be a mother, like, that is something that I am looking forward to, but I think it's also okay for me not to be looking for it right now. There's plenty of time. I think the other thing too is, like, I also know that my sole purpose on this earth wasn't just to be a wife, and not to say just a wife as in like putting being a wife below anything else, but I know that I have so many other things going for me in terms of what my actual purpose is. I was put on this earth to be a mentor, to be a guide, to be a teacher, to be a source of light for people, like so many different things, you know? I also think we're in this interesting season where men are asked to be a lot more emotionally intelligent than they have in the past. And so for the longest time, right, all men really had to do was provide. They had to make money, go to work, and provide income, right, to support the family. But now we're in this generation where women can do that for themselves. Like, I make my own money. A lot of women make their own money. They're really successful. And so when men come to the table only with the ability to provide money or to provide work, it's just not enough, right? It's like, well, why do I even need you? I can take care of myself that way. It's like we're at this new crossroads where we need a lot of men to step up in terms of emotional intelligence, in terms of being like actual true equal partners, in terms of being like an emotional support system, you know? And to be fair, before that just wasn't as much of a requirement. But I think that's also why you're seeing like a lot higher divorce rates as well in people who've been in really, really long relationships where before they didn't have as much of the ability to work for themselves. The women didn't. And so now it's like they're older and just like, wait, I don't actually need you. And you haven't been providing me the emotional support that I've needed for years. And I've kind of felt alone, right? Because that's like the whole point of a partnership is doing things together and being each other's support system. And so I think men are kind of struggling with this like reckoning of like, well, I did everything right, but it's just not enough anymore, right? Like that and this is honestly collective on very many thoughts, very many thoughts in terms of like career. Don't get me wrong, this is why we get into real estate investing, plenty of other things. We're not going to get into that. I have so many other podcast episodes about that. But yeah, men just weren't required to do this in the past. And like everyone told them that they just have to go out there, work hard, get a good job, and then they'll be able to find a woman and take care of them just through financial means. But it's like, no, we need more than that. And here's the thing, right? I personally still am looking for, right, like a provider man. And by provider, like, yes, financially, even though I don't need it financially, it's more so I personally, I've been a hard worker my entire life. I've been a boss ass bitch my whole entire life. And like, when part of why I'm doing all this now is so that when I have kids, I don't have to work as hard as I have my entire life. I can take a step back. I can like spend time with the kids. I don't have to feel like I have to work every day or whatever to make money, right? But I also need a man who's like willing to step up, not just like financially, but also emotionally for that to support that. And so you just like have to bring so much more to the table. And it's not even that much more. This is the thing. It's really not that much more. Like, I think about what I crave for in a relationship is to truly feel safe, is to feel held, it's to feel taken care of the same way that I would take care of them back. It's to not feel like I have to nag about every tiny little thing. It's emotional maturity. It's like having that foresight for someone else's needs, being a true partner. And it's like, I want someone to be my safe space, you know? Just the same way that I would be the safe space for them. And like, communication is such a huge part about that, right? Like, so if you really struggle to communicate your thoughts or your emotions, like, it's probably not going to be a good fit because that is incredibly important, especially for a like really good solid foundation in terms of partnership. And the thing is, for me, honestly, is like, if you lack emotional maturity, I'm gonna get bored with you. Someone like literally messaged me on Instagram, and this is when you know, like, not the highest quality man, right? Messaged me on Instagram being like, "Oh, you look so good. I don't understand why a man wouldn't want you." And I'm like, "Dear God, here we go again." And it's like, trust me, it's not that a man doesn't want me. I have plenty of people sliding into my DMs. I get asked out in person. That is not the problem. It's I don't want them because my worth isn't based solely on my looks. My worth isn't based on me looking pretty as some side piece, right? Like, there's so much more substance there, and I expect the same, honestly, from my partner too. And those men are out there. They truly are. And I also know when my intention is really behind looking for a partner, I feel like I'm going to be able to find it. It's just not around that right now this season. And who knows, maybe someone swoops into my life and then it becomes that. Like, I'm not closed off to dating. It's more just if the right situation presents itself, then absolutely. But it's like, yeah, I am not my looks, right? Like, I have a brain. I'm incredibly caring, emotionally intuitive, wicked smart, honestly, and a badass, right? And I think this is it too, is like the guy that ends up being in my life will also be special in their own right, right? Like, they will also just be a unicorn, like a one of a kind. I think I'm a one of a kind. I think a lot of the people in my life are one of a kinds. And I think that like the person that I find will also be, I'm not the kind of person who's going to be like, they need to be 6 foot X and have brown eyes or whatever. I don't give a crap about that. Like, you got to be attracted. Cause let me tell you, I don't believe love is blind. Just putting that out there. You got to be attracted to them. But it's more like the energy, the vibe, the grounding, interest in each other. That's what really matters. Because at the end of the day, we just want to be loved for who we are, right? And we also want to be with someone who like pushes us and inspires us and makes us feel held and cared for. And yeah, like, I really love being around ambitious people. And that also means I don't get into relationships often. A lot of the time, it's a waste of my time. And I don't mean waste of my time as in like the person is a waste of my time, more so. And to be fair, I actually genuinely do believe that dating in general is a good thing to do. Like, is to practice, because I feel like with every relationship that I do get in, with however long or short it is, I learn so much about myself in terms of what I want in a partnership, characteristics that I like. But I'm kind of at the season where I'm pretty sure I know what I want. And so I just don't like to waste my time because I can already tell if it's not going to work out with a lot of people. And this isn't to say with everyone, but with a lot of people, I'm like, this is just not going to work. And here's the thing. Do I get lonely sometimes? Of course. Okay. If anyone single ever tells you they never get lonely, like, I find it hard to believe that. As someone who is, once again, perpetually single, even I get lonely sometimes. I've traveled all around the world by myself as a solo traveler, but I would still rather be alone than avoid this feeling of being lonely and just being with someone for the sake of being them, even though I know I don't actually want to be with them, or settling for something that, like, I just know I deserve more, you know? And trust me, I don't glorify being single. I do not glorify relationships. I don't glorify any of it. There are ups and downs to all of it. And honestly, I truly cannot wait to see the person that I end up with. I'm so excited. Like I already know we're gonna build a beautiful, joyful, incredible life filled with love and partnership and passion and just so many different things. But like there's no like I don't have this like fairy tale romance idea of what it's supposed to look like. I like it's more of this like good grounding feeling. And honestly, what I've learned is that if you are truly content on your own, like you truly love yourself and you love your own company, then the next person who comes, they're not going to complete you. Okay. They're just going to add overflow to what's already abundant into a life that already feels incredibly full. And honestly, that's maybe why so many people in my real estate coaching program are single females, because they're done just like waiting for someone, some Prince Charming to come along and to start like living their life and building wealth for them. They're ready to really take it into their own hands. And they know that when the time is right, the right person's going to come in and add to what they've already built for themselves. So if you are a single girly who is looking to get started investing in real estate, especially if you are in corporate, maybe you're making six figures or more, maybe you're an entrepreneur and you've built a really amazing business, but you want to start like diversifying because you don't really know how long you want to run this business for, and you want a little bit more freedom and spaciousness and passive income coming in. And to check out Wanderlust Wealth Academy, go to oliviatati.com/WWA. And then also, if you are listening to this before November 18th, 2025, then I'm also hosting a free masterclass. It's called Fund Your Freedom, How to Buy Properties That Pay for Your Lifestyle. Come checking out. It's completely free. If you go to oliviatati.com/free class, it's going to be an absolute time. Okay, that's it, fam. Thank you so much for listening to Wanderlust Wealth Show. Now, don't forget to follow the podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you love this episode, it would literally mean the world to me if you shared this with a friend or a family member, or literally like anyone off of the street. Like right now, go ahead, share it so you don't forget, or post it on social media and make sure to tag me. I love seeing what you're listening in on and what you resonated with, and I'm just so freaking thankful for you. I'm so freaking excited for you. I love you, and don't forget, life really doesn't have to be hard.